And now here's Steve and Michelle.
Welcome to Mallett and Michelle. I'm Michelle and this is Steve, both back from vacation, rested and ready to go. Just kidding, we need a vacation from our vacation.
This is true. Every time I go away, I think, oh, I need a break.
I know. You know what? There is nothing like sleeping in your own bed the first night you get back from vacation.
It's true. Last night slept in my own bed and it was heavenly next to my beautiful wife. It was, yeah. I mean, I like traveling and everything, but there's no place like home.
I do too. I know. I said I just wanted to click my heels.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Hey, our guest today, Jack McClure, who is the class president at Dripping Springs High School.
Yes.
Man, this kid's bio, I got tired just reading it.
He's very accomplished.
Yeah, I feel like an underachiever compared to this kid. So
we probably are. He's probably a lot more accomplished than we are.
Yeah, he's going to come in here and show us what he's got going on. So he's going to come in here and join us for a little bit. But we couldn't do the show without our wonderful sponsors.
We love our sponsors. I'm telling you, they're just amazing,
They
Steve.
are.
They
yeah,
are just
we love
amazing.
their support.
Deep Eddy Vodka. I just adore these people.
Yeah, we've had a great time over there. Live a little and bring a friend to the coolest spot in town. Try the new espresso vodka today. Not espresso. Espresso vodka today.
Espresso.
Yeah.
Espresso.
Yes. Espresso.
Jovi Belterra.
Where you can live your best life with all your new best friends.
Aw, that's nice.
Yeah.
You went on vacation with one of the Jovi
I did
residents.
with
We'll
my
talk about
dad.
that.
Yeah.
How about South Star Bank?
Where loans make sense and you can grow the financial future you deserve. I'm going to try that again. Where loans make sense and you can grow the financial future you deserve.
Well, how about I'll raise your enthusiasm. Mallett Integrity Team.
This is not the market for agents learning the ropes. Hire a tried and true professional from the Mallett Integrity Team. What did we figure? We got 65 years of experience in the team here. They can't go wrong hiring one of us.
That is crazy.
So you and I haven't really caught up yet. Your trip, you went to Curacao, and you did not get blown away in one of the boats off the coast.
No, I didn't.
Because it's close to Venezuela.
And I didn't see any submarines, although we did look for them. I did, because we were looking out to the beach. But yeah, Curacao was very interesting. It's not just a blue liqueur, which tastes like horrid. It's horrid.
Is that a
Curacao,
liquor?
it's a blue liquor.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I was introduced to that liquor way back when I first started waiting tables in Corpus Christi, and they used to make this blue Curacao margarita.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
And so right when we landed and we get to the hotel, they hand us this blue concoction, like it kind of tastes like NyQuil. Not really, but it was not. But we stayed at an all-inclusive. We were there for a wedding. Actually, it's one of my daughter's old friends, and she was getting married there. And the resort was very beautiful.
Was it Sandals?
It was a Sandals resort. Like I said, all-inclusive, all food, all drink, most activities. I equated it to a cruise ship on land.
A cruise ship on land.
And you're kind of stuck with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And after the first day or two, and you've seen the beach, and you've seen the pool, and there's nothing else to do, and you are bored out of your mind.
You were there for 6 days?
I was there for a while. Yeah, it was pretty. I was bored. There was a couple times where I was bored. I went to the beach. I went to the pool. The food was mid at best. And now we've talked about this before. I'm a foodie. And I just wasn't a fan. Everything was overcooked. So then we decided.
Been there and done that,
Yeah.
sounds like.
Well, there was one really cool. We were eating breakfast, and these birds kept landing on the table, and they would steal the sugar packets. And they were cute little birds. They had these little green bellies or yellow bellies, and they were so cute. And we asked the waitress, like, "Oh, what are those birds called?" And she looked me dead in the face, and she goes, "Yellow belly sugar peckers." and all of the sugar packets had holes in them.
Little holes in them from that.
Because the yellow belly sugar
She's
peckers.
a botanist.
So yeah, but then we decided to go into town. We paid to go into town. It was $167 round trip
Holy
to go into
cow.
town. It was 30 minutes away. Goats are wandering everywhere. It makes me sad a lot of times.
Were
because
you worried to go into town? Was
it's
it
pretty safe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty safe. But yeah, we saw some really cool little areas. It was hot.
Well,
hot.
yeah, you're pretty down
Super
pretty close
hot.
to the equator there.
I went to go find a souvenir. Didn't find a souvenir down there because
Yeah.
it was just all junk tchotchke stuff.
From China.
From China. I
Even
could have
in
ordered
Curacao,
it.
you get
Even in
stuff from
Curacao,
China.
absolutely. And then later that night, we desperately went to go find the A&M game and the UT game in Carousel. And there was a whole group of us, and we were sharing this one little room. And half of us, actually more than half of us, was the Ohio State game. And then the other half, there was UT, and there was one remote. And one remote did both televisions.
geez.
So that was pretty funny. And the only souvenir I got was at the duty-free shop, and I bought me some Cartier perfume. So
Wow,
that was
good
it.
for you.
Yeah, I didn't buy a T-shirt, didn't buy a magnet. I didn't bring you nothing back, Steve. I didn't bring you nothing back.
Yeah, well, I know. I was waiting for you to bring my
Just
gift
a-
out. You haven't done it yet,
Yeah,
so I
just
guess
a
I'm
smile.
at SOL. Yeah.
Yeah, just a smile. I have to tell a really funny story though. The night of the wedding, when Alyssa was married, Alyssa told Todd, my husband, she goes, "You know what I remember most about?" She goes, she was always at our house, always was. Michelle putting on parties or whatever, and she goes, "But
Surprise.
one of my most memorable moments is we were going to the Domain. You were dropping us off at the Domain, and all I had was $11. And you looked over at Kendall and you said, all you get is $11 because Alyssa has $11. Now you have $22. And they walked around the Domain and just asked for bags. And they just carried around empty bags to make it look like
Like they were doing all this expensive shopping.
And so she goes, it made me feel so good because I didn't. Because Todd said, I probably only had $11.
You know what? Kudos to Todd.
Right?
Yeah,
That's pretty
man,
funny.
there's a highlight of a parenting moment. That's really good.
Well,
good for him.
my funniest story with her was her and do you remember the Beggs, Sally Beggs? We had her on
Yeah,
the story.
yeah.
Her daughter Lizzie Beggs and her, they used to sit on the playground and read the Bible and tell all the other kids that they weren't going to heaven if they didn't read the Bible. With this was like at 4th or 5th grade at Rooster Springs.
Oh, geez, you're going to hell,
You're
and
going
you're
to
going to
hell.
hell, and you're going to hell. That's funny. Well, I just got back last night from 3 days in California with my dad, Larry, who has joined us on the show with Marilyn from Jovi. And we had a great time. Got to visit my sister Donna,
who we also had on the
yes,
show.
who was on a couple episodes ago. And my mom and her husband David were going to meet us, but unfortunately they couldn't come down. My mom's having some medical stuff. But
Yeah.
a couple things from my trip. We rented an electric car. I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
so
that.
I'll tell you about that. But my funny thing was everything went great. The flights were good. Security was good. Renting the car was easy. Everything went well.
Because you and I both flew before the shutdown was officially over.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
right. Yeah, I didn't have any problem at security. The airports were fine. Everybody was very friendly. So the first night we had got our car, drove down to Donna's, stayed at my sister's house till 7 California, which is 9 o'clock my time. Which you know, what happens to me, I turn into a pumpkin, and my dad's even worse than that. He was exhausted. We drive to the hotel, Holiday Inn Express, in Fairfield, California. And I walk in, and they're real busy, and I hear the guy telling somebody we're completely booked, and I'm like, well, that's okay, because I got 2 rooms. I don't care. And I go, you have a reservation for Mallett? And he's like, and he goes, can I see your ID? And I give him my ID, and he goes, could it be under a different name? And I go, no, it's Mallett. And I go, come on, I got a reservation. Here's the reservation. I pull it up on my phone. I have 3 nights reserved at a hotel in Fairfield, Texas.
Oh.
I booked the hotel in Fairfield, Texas, which I don't even know where that is. And so I go, oh, my bad. I go, do you have any rooms? He goes, I'm sorry, sir. We're completely booked. They had a Marine Corps gala or something there. And so I panicked. Well, at first I called the Fairfield, Texas hotel, and I said, can you cancel it? And she said, I can't cancel tonight, but I'll cancel the other 2 nights. And then I started getting...
They were all excited because they finally got 2
rooms
rooms booked.
we got 2 rooms booked. And so I found us a hotel at Hyatt Place just down the road, and I was able to get us 2 rooms there, which actually worked out fairly well. But I felt like such an idiot.
Oh,
Such
no.
an idiot.
You know what? That's a dyslexic mood. That's something I would have done.
I know what happened. I typed in Fairfield, and it gave me a list of hotels, and these two hotels look exactly alike. And I just
It's
looked
Holiday
at,
Inn Express.
I know. I looked at the picture. I'm like, oh, that's the place we always stay, and I just booked it. I didn't even really pay attention to the
Steve,
details.
the Texas-shaped waffle pancakes didn't give it away.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But anyway, the Hyatt place was really nice. They were very friendly. The lady that checked us in was really good. But the other thing was an electric car. Never driven an electric car. Been in electric cars, but never driven
Made fun
one.
of electric cars a lot of times.
A lot, yes, we
Yeah.
do. So I rented a Tesla, but they didn't have one. Surprise. So I rented a Tesla or other comparable vehicle, as they do. And they gave us a Genesis G80E, which is
That's
their,
a Hyundai, right? The
it's
bougie
their
version of a
luxury-
Hyundai?
Yeah, it's like the Lexus Toyota
Okay.
of Hyundai.
Don't be using...
No. You know
Don't
what
be
I mean.
using
You
my
know,
Lexus.
It's the premium brand.
Okay, 'cause
it was
that-
actually a pretty nice car. It's a big sedan. I
Really?
mean, yeah, it's like the length of your car. Actually, when we were picking up dinner that night, these three kids were in this old beat up Altima smoking pot. I could smell the pot, and one of them leaned out and goes, "Man, is that a Bentley?" I'm like, "No, it's a Hyundai." And but so. Had to charge it. Was pretty, I watched a YouTube video.
Okay.
And I knew what to do, and I didn't make an idiot of myself. But I pulled up. There was 9 charging stations. They were all full. I waited for a few minutes. Somebody pulled out. I pulled in. And it took 40 minutes to charge the car to 100% because I had to drop it off at 80% at the hotel or at the airport. And I sat there for 40 minutes, and I looked down the line of cars, and everybody is sitting there on their phone. You could tell they're scrolling through Instagram or TikTok or something. And I thought, what a freaking waste of time. You know, people sitting there for an hour charging their car.
Yeah.
I was like, I would have rather spent $50 in gas, but only taken 3 minutes to fill the car up. But the car did drive really nice. It had all kinds of bells and
It's
whistles
quiet?
on it. Super quiet,
Yeah.
very comfortable. In sport mode, it actually got up. Yeah, I mean, it
In
actually
sport
went
mode?
pretty good in sport mode.
Super
but-
fast.
Yeah, but I'm not sure I'll do that again. I would probably just get a regular old gas-powered SUV next time. But it was a good experience.
Yeah, it would worry me about not finding a charger or now if you're go to 80%, right? Now you got to build in another hour to go to the airport.
And that was what happened, right? So we were 30 miles from the airport, and I was trying to do the calculation in my head to make sure it had 80% because they charge you $40 or something if you bring it back less than 80%. And I couldn't figure out the calculation because I didn't know exactly how many, your speed and all that stuff. And the temperature makes a difference. So I charged it to 100% and returned it with 86%. So made it in under
You gave him a little bump.
a little bit extra.
A little bump.
Yeah, and the other thing that happened, I did a run at Lagoon Valley Park, which is in Vacaville, very close to where my sister lives, and had one of the best runs I've had all year. Just me by myself.
It was pretty. I saw your video.
I missed Holly not being there. She would have really enjoyed it. But what a beautiful, beautiful morning. Perfect temperature.
Yeah.
Very, real clear. Yeah, on my Instagram, you can see some pictures from that. So glad to be home. Good trip.
Yeah.
Got to visit with my sister and
It sounds like we
spend some
both
good
had
time with my
some
dad. yeah.
good trips. Glad to be home. I forgot to tell you, I also got yelled at by the immigration person in Carousel.
Oh, well, that's not surprising.
Well,
Somebody yelled at you, Michelle?
Yes, I handed him my passport, and he said, "What flight were you on?" And I go, American Airlines. He goes, "American Airlines what?"
Oh,
And I said, "I don't know." And Todd was already further down the line, and he goes, "Is it 9931 or whatever it was?" And I go, "I guess so." And he goes, "You guess so?" And I was like, locked up abroad in Carousel because I don't know. I didn't know.
You'd have to email President Trump. He'd bail you out. Hey, I want to kind of segueing into my run thing. I mentioned to a couple people that Holly and I have been doing these monthly challenges, and for November, we're doing 25 push-ups, 30 ab rolls, reading a book. I completed my book this month on the trip. But I want to invite some of our listeners, if they want to take our December challenge, and you're included, this is the December challenge.
Is there sweating involved?
Yes. 2 minutes of, this is every day in December.
Okay.
2 minutes of planking. You can split it up if you need to do 30 seconds. 10 burpees, One book complete, front to back, reading, not listening. Audiobook doesn't count. No Cheetos, no pretzels, no potato chips for the month of December.
Okay, look, it's mine and Jesus' birthday in December.
So you can eat as many potato chips as you want.
I'm not reading no book. I'm listening. I've been listening a lot more to books, and it seems like you and I are on the same path. Oh, you know what else I found out? I discovered this from my little travels, that if you go to the Houston Library, if you sign up for the Houston Library audiobooks, they're free. They have unlimited, like...
Well, yeah, Libby.
No. I know Libby, but Libby doesn't have... Each library, like Dripping Springs Library, is limited, but Houston Library is open to anybody in Texas.
Did you not have to pay? You just
No.
You go online and sign up?
You just go on and sign up.
A lot of the libraries you have to go in person.
Nope, you don't. That's a little.
I'm going to do that.
That's a tip from the FBI agents.
Oh,
Well,
I'm
let
going to
me
have to
know.
do that because our Dripping Springs Library, which is great, and they're fundraising right now, only has 3,000 audiobooks versus I bet the Houston Library probably has 100,000.
I know, and it seems like every book I want to read, it's somebody else is reading it, and I think
Yeah.
it's Steve Mallett.
It's I do have a lot checked out.
And I also got like my hand slapped and said I have too many books on hold or on because they're all checked out.
Yeah, you got to put them in your
So,
queue.
hey, I forgot to talk about the announcement I was going to say at the very beginning. I saw a post on Facebook here in Dripping Springs, and it's about the aquatic science department in Dripping Springs High School. They have run out of funds this year due to budget cuts, and they are kind of asking for donations for the science department. They said that their resources are dwindling rapidly and they're facing a genuine crisis. Our program desperately needs your support. If it's within your means to help, please consider lending a hand to keep our dreams alive and our students engaged. Every item we have added to our list helps us continue to inspire the next generation of science explorers. They have an Amazon wish list.
Oh.
So if you want to know about that, I'm sure if you just go on the Dripping Springs High School Science Department, you reach out to anybody. I could give you the link, but it's like a bunch of, it looks like hieroglyphics here. But anything you can give, and I think it's a shame.
I wonder if they're taking cash donations. Maybe we can help out with that.
Yeah. So maybe we can figure that out. But hey, do you remember up in the Dallas area, the development called Epic City?
I do.
What they were
We've done
calling
a
it.
couple stories on that.
Do you remember what EPIC stands for?
I do not.
It's the East Plano Islamic Center. Okay. And the Epic Center, the Epic City, is the one people swore was going to be its own little religious enclave. Well, they have a new name now. They've rebranded, and it's called the Meadow. Because apparently Epic City confused folks who thought they were building the next Vatican, I guess. And the developers say the new name sounds more peaceful, more inclusive, more Texas Hill Country meets the suburban utopia of an Islamic center. But don't let this soft name fool you, because behind the scenes, I don't know if and you and I were kind of talking about this earlier, Attorney General Ken Paxton is all over this right now. He's hit developers with some investigative demands. He's gone
I
after.
thought we did a story where they have closed all the investigations. So
Well,
are they reopening
It's
them?
back open, and it's gone after local city officials for records. They're now even saying these guys may have committed security violations. He's asking the Texas State Securities Board to hand the case over so he can file suit. In other words, he's not shutting it down yet, but he's definitely trying to kind of like clip their wings a little bit. But the feds have already looked into this for civil rights issues and quietly closed their investigation with no change.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's
that
what
was
was
what we
going on.
talked
So
about. Okay.
federally, they're fine, but in Texas, not so much. Paxton, he seems determined to make this the Alamo of the real estate investigations kind of thing. But big picture, you've got 400 acres. Faith-forward, mixed-use development, promising everything from homes, schools, shops, sport fields, and a mosque. And you've got political pressure, rebranding spin, lawsuits, and two completely different stories depending on who you ask and what this development actually
So do you know,
is.
are Christians and Buddhists and
So
anybody else welcome to live there?
They did say that they were. That it was all inclusive because I think they were trying to get them
Avoid being sued is probably what it sounds like.
Yeah, and so I think more than anything in the rebrand, I think it's kind of a strategy to just diffuse the backlash.
Yeah.
From like saying that it was like some Islamic city to more oh, it's the meadow.
Yeah, right.
Come relax. But yeah, there's still a lot of questions up in the air. I don't know. There's going to be over 1,000 homes apparently.
It's funny to me, I feel like we've made a lot of advances in civil rights in the last 50 years since Martin Luther King Jr. And now we seem to be going backwards. We've got on campuses, we've got dorms that are segregated. Now we have communities that are segregated. I don't think this is the way we need to be going. We need to all be living together as just Americans and not separated into these little groups.
Well, I think, it kind of lends itself to the conversation what happened in Waco and the religious kind of communities that were there. And are they going to be imposing Sharia law there? So there's do not go areas in certain parts, New York and
in Europe, there's a lot of places like that. You're not welcome. If you don't fit that demographic, you're not welcome to go there. We don't need that in this country.
No, we don't. I'm all for freedom of religion, but as long as you're open to someone else's religion as well.
Yeah.
And inclusivity does not kind of fall into that.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. It's a slippery slope. Let's see how this all plays out. I'm sure we'll have another update at some point.
Yeah. Well, this past week, anytime President Trump proposes something, the internet goes crazy
Orange
with
man
people.
bad.
Yeah, it's like people. He said Tylenol wasn't good, and so a bunch of people went out and took so much Tylenol.
Tylenol
that
said
they OD'd.
it wasn't good.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. Well, anytime he comes out with anything, then the internet breaks with people trying to refute it. So what came up last week or a week and a half ago was 50-year mortgages.
Yeah, I saw that, and I know that like in Hawaii they have something very similar, right?
Because I've not seen that lenders are doing it already.
No.
There were 40-year mortgages for a while. I think they've done away with those.
Okay, well.
So go ahead.
So it all has to do with the affordability, right?
Yeah. So the thing about a 50-year mortgage, these are all tools for you as a consumer. These are tools for you to grow your financial wealth. That's the way you need to think about these things. I think too many times people think of, oh, this mortgage is this necessary evil, and they make the minimum payment and they just scratch by. If you took the benefit I see for a 50-year mortgage, and Tate is a great example of this. Tate is he's making decent money now, but he's not making as much as he's going to make when he becomes a doctor. He could get a 50-year mortgage on a house in Portland or wherever they end up living. And as his income increases, he could make additional mortgage payments. So he could get into, I ran and I know he can't buy a house in Portland for $400,000, but $400,000, 30-year note at 6% interest, and I printed it out, but now I didn't bring it with me, but you would pay, I think it was like $300,000 in interest.
Okay.
If you did the same terms, $400,000, 6% interest over 50 years, it was more than double the amount of interest that you'd pay. But if you did a 50-year mortgage and paid an extra $500 a month in principal, you could pay that 50-year mortgage off in 22 years and own that home outright, except for the taxes you got to pay. And the mortgage payment was only $200 a month. The total of the minimum payment plus the $500,000 was $200 more than what it would be at a 30-year fixed mortgage at the same interest rate. The one unknown is if they do it, and it sounds like it may have already, they're not going to do it. They're looking at portable mortgages right now, which is another thing we'll talk about in the future, that the interest rate might be a little bit higher. So that skews the math.
Well, I have two questions for you. So two arguments that I heard. One is that are they trying to help with the affordability of people getting, or are you looking at, or there's another way to look at it, you're never actually going to own your home.
How many people own their houses for even 30 years?
Yeah, so there's that. And then the other one is, will they actually make the extra payment? Because I did hear that argument as well.
So that comes down to,
discipline?
Well, it comes down to discipline, but people need to take control of their own finances, right? And you need to say, instead of going to Starbucks every day, I'm going to make, that's $150 a month. Oh, more than that, probably. What's a Starbucks coffee now? $7?
$14.95.
Yeah, so, you just don't go to Starbucks every day. You go once a month, twice a month. You make it a treat.
Discipline.
Yeah. And if you had a 50-year note, but you paid it off in 22, I can give up a little coffee for that. You know, people need to start thinking of these as financial tools that they control, not that they are in debt to.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's funny that you use Tate as an example, because I have often said that Tate is never going to put me in a nursing home because he'd have to pay for it.
Yeah.
And so Tate has told me that he's going to pay cash for his house one day because he will never pay anybody interest. And I'm like, okay,
that's
you're
probably
so
not
cute.
going to happen. Yeah. The thing I do worry about 50-year mortgages is it will allow people to get in homes that probably should continue to rent.
Yeah.
They would be scratching to make the minimum payment on a 50-year note.
If there was something like they had to have a roof or some sort of leak or.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that could affect affordability in that if you inject a whole bunch more buyers into the market, that drives up prices. So any savings that you might have, you know, from across the economy might be done away with because home prices go back up.
Yeah.
So you can make the payment lower, but if home prices go up, it drags the payment back
Yeah,
up.
that's a good point. I didn't think about it in that sense.
The big thing for me is if you're out there and you haven't bought a home yet, or on your third home or fifth home, don't just make the minimum payment. Add $100 a month. Add $200 a month. If you get a bonus at work, say you get a $5,000 bonus, scratch $2,500 off of that and send it as a principal payment. But you'll be paying your mortgage off way sooner than you expect.
I feel you're attacking me right now.
I'm not attacking you. But Todd may make an extra. You know,
Todd
it doesn't even have to be much. It can be $75. It can be $100 a month. You'll be blown away how fast that principal goes down when you start doing that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
You know, I think we have gotten to the point in this country where people, like, if you're making the minimum payments on your credit card, or you're making the minimum payment on your mortgage or your car payment, you know, give up a little something on one side and just make a little extra principal payment and get rid of those debts sooner. Do I sound like Dave Ramsey?
I feel like I just got sat down by my dad and he's looking at the budget, or I've had this conversation with Todd and we're going over budget time.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that. Do you remember that when you were like,
I do.
You had to sit down with your wife and, okay, come on, honey, we got to talk about the budget. And I'm like, I hated those conversations.
You know what? I think you and I have probably gotten to the point in our lives where we don't have to do that as much because, you know, we're doing okay. But when you're younger and you're starting out, you're like, no, we can't afford to go out to dinner this Friday because, you know, we got to make the rent payment or pay insurance or whatever.
Or clip, you know, we were waiting for the Sunday paper so we could look at
coupons.
Coupons and who had a 50% off coupon.
Character building, though. That's, I mean, it's not necessarily fun, but it does build character.
I totally agree.
You good financial
I totally agree. And they're talking about, you know, how the kids these days say that, you know, we have sucked up all the good houses and that, of course, you know, houses were only $30,000. Well, no. Okay, here's the thing. Back then, we didn't have all these subscriptions. We had 3 channels.
Yeah. Okay,
we didn't have cell phones, and if we did, you know, it was like you had data limits. Everything is by subscription nowadays. Everything.
You know, I'm going to go down a rabbit trail, but we're in California. Our hotel was about a mile from an outlet, the Vacaville Outlet Center, and we went in there to buy some workout clothes for my dad. There are people driving around in 30-year-old cars that look like they're barely running, and they have bags and bags of, I'm just going to say it, crap from those outlet stores. And I'm thinking, you people need to think about, do you really need another Nike sweatshirt or, you know, another pair of Crocs or whatever all those stores are? I feel like that we have gotten... Capitalism has kind of tripped us up in some regard where people feel like if I buy that, I'll feel good. And you and I know it doesn't work like that. It might make you feel good for about 30 seconds. And that's it. And then it goes away and then you got to go on to the next thing.
You're looking at somebody right in the eyeballs that has a clothes obsession.
Well,
I'm sorry.
But you know what? But you buy stuff that's like $30 online.
I do. But then I give it away too. Like, But yeah,
I wish I was wore your clothes and I was your size because you give away a lot of clothes.
I do. So. Kendall gave Holly some. So.
Holly made out on that. But Well, we went a little long here on our monologue, but we are going to take a little break and get Jack McClure, who is the class president of Dripping Springs High School. He wants to be a real estate developer and focus on sustainable development. And he's in theater and he's a DECA. I can't even keep up. This kid's got a lot going on.
Maybe he'll run the show for us one day.
He probably will. So, all right. Well, hang on, sit tight. We'll be right back. That was 30 minutes, everybody. I just rolled along.
That's